The next 10 minutes I will talk about the importance of desalination plants and their negative impact on the Arabian Gulf. So, as most of you may know, that the Arabian Gulf are home to the most fastest growing city in the world. And as the population grows, so does the need for water. So, in this harsh desert climate, fresh water is a scarce and valuable resource. So, how does the desert goes from this to this? Anyone knows? Okay, the answer lies in this gigantic machine called desalination plant. And from this we can enjoy and use water. Okay, so basically I divided my presentation into 5 parts. First I will define what is desalination. Then I will look at the types of desalination, and then we'll focus on the environmental threats, and then to what extent the Arabian Gulf countries try to manage this problem. Okay, and finally the summary and conclusion. First, let's define desalination. What is desalination? Simply, desalination is the separation of all dissolved salts and mineral from water. Okay, as we can see in this picture, this is the seawater, the non-drinkable water, and this is the desalinated drinkable fresh water that we can drink. So, we have water resources, types of water resources in the world. We have 3 types of water resources, and we can see, as we can see in this map, we have the seawater, and brackish water, and then the wastewater. So, 3 types of water resources that can be used for desalination. The circles here shows the usage of water in each country of the world, and we can see the biggest circle here is in the Arabian Gulf. So why does the Arabian Gulf consume this huge amount of water? We can see the predominant source of water here is seawater. Okay? So there is reasons for this huge amount of usage. First, rapid population growth, changing in lifestyle, increasing economic activity, limited source of fresh water. We don't have rivers, we don't have fresh water in the Arabian Gulf. And the most important one is we have oil. So we have oil, why don't we use it? Okay, cheap energy in the Arabian Gulf. Okay, let's move on the types of desalination plants. We have 3 types, or 3 methods of desalination. First one is distillation. So what is distillation? Distillation uses heat energy to boil the water, so which can be seawater, fresh water, or wastewater, any type of water. Heat the water, and the vapor, the water vapor goes into another chamber where it is cooled down and then condensed into a distilled fresh water, drinkable water for us. The second method is reverse osmosis. This method uses or applied pressure on the seawater and passes through a semi-permeable membrane. This membrane will allow only the water molecules to pass, leaving behind all the salt and minerals away. The result is fresh, drinkable water. The third method is electrodialysis. This method uses electricity to separate the salt molecule, as we can see here. So the water comes from here, all the salt molecules are just attracted to each pool, and the result is also pure drinkable water. So that is 3 methods. Okay? Now, what are the environmental threats of desalination plants? We have many environmental threats, but the most important one are brine discharge and air pollution. Let's take a closer look on each one of them. Brine discharge. Brine is simply the salted water that is released back to the environment from the desalination plants. So that will have serious negative impact on the environment. As we can see in this picture, this is a satellite image taken in 2002. All of this area is exposed during low tide. This area here is the outlet of the desalination, whereas the brine is, the salty water is. The red color here represents the seaweeds, marine life, marine organisms. see any red color here because it is killed by the brine water. Okay? So in this case, this is one desalination plant. But if we can see all the desalination, we have approximately 200 desalination plants in the Arabian Gulf, and imagine what can be destroyed by this huge salinity decrease. As we can see in this picture here, see, this is the Arabian Gulf. All of the dark red color here is the high percentage of salinity. The recorded salinity here is 43 to 45, which is above normal. The normal one is 36, so anything above normal will affect the marine life and marine organisms. Okay? Now, other threat to the environment is the air pollution. Of course, all the desalination plants that we mentioned before uses a power source like heat, pressure, or electricity. All of them, all the desalination plants discharge harmful gases to the environment, so that will lead to a serious respiratory problem or even increase the global warming. Okay. So how does the Arabian Gulf try to mitigate this problem? How did they manage this, to solve this problem? First, they dilute the water. So before they discharge the water from the desalination plant to the sea, they dilute it. What is the dilution? Dilution is simply the action of making something less concentrated. For example, this jar, we have high concentration of salt, but if we add more water, the concentration of salt will be less. So that will give less amount of harm to the environment. Okay? Other thing is the usage of renewable energy, sustainable energy, like solar power. So that will also decrease the air pollution. If we use solar energy, like this here in Saudi Arabia, yeah. And one thing to say that Saudi Arabia now have the largest solar power system, or solar power desalination plant in the world. So that is a good point for it. Okay? So, to sum up, despite all the benefits that desalination plants provide, there are still a considerable number of threats that need to be mitigated by the Arabian Gulf. Okay? And in my opinion, more research would need to be done in order to improve the outcome of the desalination as the population grows and to mitigate these problems. Thank you for listening, and I'm very happy to answer your questions.